let's talk about this table for two for a second. I just wanted to do a review on this because it has been a very useful piece of equipment to have if you have twins. A couple things that I want to mention about this thing. It's really good for having twins from the time that they're, I'd say we've used this thing. Our twins are about 1 now, and we've used it from the time that pretty much they got out of the hospital, maybe a month or 2 old until now. So this thing is really cool. So it has the straps that you strap your kid in here, and then they kind of recline at a nice little position. And they have these built up little areas here, and that's for holding your arm there whenever you're holding the bottle for the baby whenever they're a newborn. That way your arm doesn't get tired whenever you're feeding them. It also has cup holders on each side for putting the bottles. And a couple of things I wanted to mention here. This thing is a really nice deal. It's foam filled, and it has this fabric on it. And if you got a little handle here, see the zipper here goes all the way around, so you can actually take this cover off. But let me say this right here. You cannot get this wet. Okay, so if you spilled milk or something, do not pour water on this and get it wet, because the water is going to go down here and it's going to get wet down here. And when it does, it's going to seep through and it's going to go through this outside shell is not waterproof. They need to make one that is waterproof, because what happens is the water goes through it, gets into the foam. The foam is not a closed cell foam, it's an open cell foam, because we had this happen to us. We got it wet and we noticed that there was some mold, looking like we could see the mold through the fabric on the underneath side. So I took the whole shell off of it, and then I was going to try to clean it, and what I realized was there was mold all over the inside of the foam as well as on the outside of the foam, and it was pretty much impossible to clean it. So the first one that we actually bought used. Then we had this problem with cleaning it, and realized you can't get it wet at all. So what we did was we actually liked it so much that we went and bought a brand new one, because it was like, you know what, this thing is really helpful for having twins. You can stick them both here and here at the same time, and you can feed them at the same time, and it's very, very nice. So that's a big tip for you. Do not get this thing wet, because if you do, then it's going to grow mold on the foam that is actually filled inside of here, and you won't be able to get it out. I bleached it, and I used vinegar on it first, trying to kill it. It did kill all the mold on the outside of the foam, but I could not kill the mold that was on the inside of the foam. It just kept coming back, so we just had to get rid of it. But besides that, this thing has been very, very useful. We've been using it, like I said, for about a year, and it's just sweet. I mean, now the kids are big enough where we put them in here. We give them their bottles or their sippy cups, and then we take a little blanket, put on their lap, and they've been holding their own bottle for months and months now. But that's how we do it, and it works really good. You can strap them in. You don't have to worry about them falling out, and that way you don't have to be just standing there the whole time or holding them while you're feeding them. So, hope this review helps somebody out there out. If you're looking at getting one of these things, I would highly recommend getting one. They're worth it, that's for sure. Alright, y'all take it easy.